An important part of zookeeping is keeping a close eye on an animal's health. At Curiosity, the keepers regularly use positive reinforcement training to teach our animals behaviors that help us keep a closer eye on their weight, as well as the ability to give them vaccinations and the ability to crate them in case of a vet visit or an emergency. A very popular tool used by animal trainers is something called a target pull. You'll notice in a lot of these videos, the animals are being asked to touch their nose to the tip of a tennis ball or a ball on a pole. This target pull acts as an extension of a keeper's arm and directs an animal to a particular spot, whether it's on a scale, off of a scale, into a crate, or just to move them around for exercise. The target pull works very well to direct them onto a scale where they receive a reward for sitting still while on that scale. Now, it obviously depends on the animal and its own personality. The bobcats tend to be a little more excited with their training than something like our porcupine. Both Cairo and Frankie, our two North American bobcats, are scale trained, and they are weighed at least once a month. Another popular item that is used for animal training is something called a station, which you'll see our gray fox, Dylan, moving onto so he can receive scratches from a keeper, his teeth can be checked, his ears can be checked, as well as brushing to help him shed that winter coat. Now, it takes a fair amount of time to create a trusting relationship with each animal and trainer. All of our animals have a particular trainer, and sometimes two, who work together to troubleshoot potential issues with training, motivation, or figuring out the best reinforcer for each animal. By building a trusting relationship with the animals, they learn that they're safe when they're around us and that they receive a reward when they cooperate with the behaviors we ask of them. Here you see Carrie, our keeper, using a stethoscope on our fox to desensitize him so that a vet will be able to listen to his heart and his lungs during a vet exam, all through positive reinforcement training. If you've been to Curiosity, you may have noticed that we have a fairly large collection of education raptors. We have trained a few of our raptors to allow us to cooperatively trim their talons and feel their keel or their breastbone to make sure that they have enough muscle on their bodies and that we are feeding them the right amount and that they are in good shape. You can imagine that a wild animal doesn't naturally want to be touched or held by a human, but it's through this trusting bond that we build with each animal in our collection that allows us to provide the best care possible. All of our education raptors are trained to step on a scale, as well as step on a keeper's glove for presentations. We work with our raptors to desensitize them to us being able to touch their talons, to move towards the ability to trim them if they grow too long. When possible, we also do what's called flight training to allow them to use their wings and muscles, and it's also a great form of enrichment for a bird that is capable of flight but is non-releasable. As you see here, Bud, our Harris hawk, enjoys his flight training with his keepers Carrie and Carmen. Poppy, our North American porcupine, has been trained to crate as well as get on the scale and go to a target pull. Keeper Alex works with her regularly to keep these behaviors up and make sure to keep them a positive experience. Training our animals not only is a form of enrichment and allows us to take care of them and check on their health regularly, it allows us to build a relationship with them where they can look forward to their training sessions with their keepers and be a part of their own health care. The porcupine enjoys crating regularly for shifting on and off exhibit and for vet exams. One of the most important behaviors we train is the ability to vaccinate our animals. We cannot take our animals to a vet hospital and hold them while they receive shots like a domestic cat or dog. So instead, over the course of time, we desensitize them to us touching them, to us applying pressure with our finger, and eventually working up to the ability to give them an injection. Vaccinations help to keep our animals healthy, and the ability to weigh our animals helps us make sure that our nutritionists and our diets are appropriate per animal and per species.